Based on what we learned about this shooting from police, we have been investigating APD policies that apply to this incident. The department's policy manual is 600 pages, and when we asked APD to narrow down which policies apply here, we got back an email pointing us to 56 pages. Clearly, there is a lot of investigating to do. Austin police are investigating what happened Friday at the Benchmark Bank under this bridge and how Detective Charles Kleinert reacted to Larry Jackson Jr.
The individual, for unknown reasons, got up and took off running. A foot chase ensued, at which point the detective caught up with the subject underneath the bridge here on Shoal Creek.
Let's start with APD department policy on foot pursuits. There are 14 listed instances when an officer should consider stopping a foot pursuit. Number 1, when the officer is acting alone. In Monday's news conference, Assistant Chief Brian Manley did not indicate Kleinert had backup or that he requested it. APD policy says an officer should call in information about the pursuit as soon as possible. And, quote, any officer unable to promptly and effectively broadcast this information should terminate the pursuit.
Detective Kleinert pursues Mr. Jackson on foot, and at one point during the foot pursuit, he stops a motorist and employs their aide to catch up to Mr. Jackson.
State law says when officers are doing their jobs and they meet resistance, they can call on citizens for help, and those citizens have to obey. We asked the director of the largest police union in Texas about involving a citizen in a police chase.
Would you ever commandeer somebody's car? Generally speaking, that's not a good idea. It's not, it's not something you would think about doing. But there may be circumstances where that's the only way to get the job done, to protect somebody, to protect yourself.
And police want to know if Kleinert was protecting himself when he shot Jackson. They don't know who was holding the gun or even if it was fired intentionally.
We're in a business where we have to make decisions. We have to take action on a split-second basis. You don't have time to sit there and try to think through the policy manual and figure out what to do next. You've got to react based upon the circumstances that are in front of you.
Which is why the training is so important.
Which is why training is critical.
Still, City Council member Mike Martinez told KXAN he now supports a major APD policy review.
We need to look at all of our policies and make sure that the protection of life is the highest priority for the Austin Police Department.
Well, online right now at KXAN.com, we have posted a link to the APD policy manual so you can see exactly what we have been poring over today. And remember, there are 2 investigations. One will determine if Detective Kleinert violated APD policy. The other will figure out if he broke the law in the shooting.